Hello and welcome to Good Morning DRC TV. I hope you guys are doing awesome. I hope you're doing great today, and I'm so happy to be here today. The weather is good and I'm having fun. So I just wanted to share with you what is happening in the eastern part of the DRC and in the DRC as a whole. We all understand what the current situation is. And with many of my videos that I have shared with you in the past, you get the context, you get the flavor, you understand what is at stake. And with every video I try to do, I give you guys an opportunity to talk back to me. Give me your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what is happening in your world of analysis when it comes to the African issue, or specifically with the DRC in that eastern part of our nation. I'm so grateful today. Just to go quickly into it, one of the topics that is obviously online and people are talking about this is that the former president Kabila is now, we know, a rebel, but now the courts have ordered for his immunity to be removed from him so he can actually be, investigated, and if found guilty, so he can do, basically, so justice can be served on him. Now, you understand through the analysis and everything that I put out, we've tried to tell you this. The conflict that is happening in the DRC, what is unfolding right now, you need to understand it has its genesis back into the AFDL. And everything that has been coming and springing up from that, we are now seeing the fruit of it today. So what we understand on what is happening with the mineral deal and what is happening with the M23 in Doha, I'll bring, if I can, just in a short space of time, try basically to reconcile all of this and give you a perspective of what I think is basically unfolding here. What we have here at the moment is this. The M23 talks in Doha is on hold because it seems that everybody is now viewing what is going on in Washington. While this mineral deal that is being negotiated at the moment seems to kind of hold everything in check. So what will happen is this. In Doha, the M23 group, which, as I've always said, is Kagame's militia group in that part of the world, because he owns it. AFC belongs to Nanga. So AFC belongs to Joseph Kabila, but obviously headed by Nanga. Now, so what is happening is this, and what we will see happen is this. The M23 and the AFC will merge together because at this point in time, Kagame is going basically to withdraw himself from this conflict. I.e., he would say, as they have always said in the past, this is a Congolese matter. It's nothing to do with us. They have always pulled themselves out of this, as though they were not there to begin with. But yes, they are. They are the ones who actually started this. Yes, Kagame and his militia, they started the M23 back in 1994. So here is this. So what is happening in Doha is now on standstill. It's now on hold. They're pending what is going on in Washington. So what we do understand is this, that what is taking place in Washington is shaping what is happening in Doha. Now, from what I put out in the video yesterday is that one of the reasons why we're seeing Doha so involved in this, the Amir of Qatar, who basically has nothing to, it's most recently that we found out how much the Amir of Qatar is interested in the DRC. But he's been doing business with Paul Kagame for donkey's years. But here, what we understand is that Paul Kagame went to the Emir of Qatar, got loans, tons of millions, and he gave what for a guarantee? The minerals, the gold in the DRC. So they struck a deal based on what I gave to you yesterday from Kwebe Kimpele, he actually cut a deal with the Emir of Qatar based on the deal that he was going to get gold from the DRC. When they fell out with Felix Tshisekedi, it dried up. So he couldn't actually place his hands on the mineral again. So this in itself became a huge problem for Kagame. And hence he just basically bolted the corral and run through and then taken over Goma and Bukavu. The result of it, thousands of people died as a result. And this, I tell you, breaks my heart even as I speak about this. So the Americans obviously now involved in this deal. Now, the Congolese government reached out to the US with the idea that the US will provide a deal that will, if you like, help this situation in bringing peace in that eastern part of the DRC. I've always argued, whatever's happened in the past, Kagame could not be able to do what he has done to the DRC if it was not for the US involvement. He was basically equipped at all levels by the Western countries. He was there and he has received all the help. Meanwhile, the Congo was under the embargo, means they couldn't buy arms, they couldn't train their military, they couldn't get support, none whatsoever militarily speaking. But for the 10 years, Kagame has just been building up and arming himself and getting all these sophisticated weapons that he could use in order to basically pull the Congo to where it is at the moment. So here we are at this stage, after what has happened in Goma. So the US is now brokering a deal with the DRC. I'll talk more about this deal. I'll tell you, for the life of me, I really don't know how we could get into a deal like this. Let me leave it there. I'll come back to this deal. But so what is going on here is this. So the US pulls Kagame, who was the strongman of that part of the region. Okay, Kagame has been a strong man. And he wasn't a strong man because he is strong. He's a strong man because he was obviously helped and if you like, built up and put in that place by the Clinton administration. Bill Clinton, Tony Blair have helped Kagame to do what he has done. Okay, so now the situation here is when everybody cries out the M23 is Congolese, M23 is there's nothing to do with Kagame. I'm telling you, but why is it when it comes to negotiating, when it comes to doing these deals, why Kagame sends his men to go and negotiate, brokering a deal? Why? So this is now evident. Everybody can now see that what we have witnessed in the US when it came to the those who were fighting in the eastern part of the Congo, Olivier, who's the foreign minister of Rwanda, was there with Kayumba Wagner. So they went there to sign this deal, or at least this declaration of principle. And today is the second. We'll find out whether this deal or at least the comprehensive commitment is signed today or not. But I'll bring that to you later on today. But you can see that from this position, just based on what happened. Why is it that the M23 group did not go represent themselves in the US, in Washington? Why is it that we have to have Olivier step up the plate in order to sign that agreement? And he said it himself, I'm doing this on behalf of Paul Kagame. That's what Olivier said. So I'm here to tell, as I always do, I share with you what I do know. And I know one or two things about what's going on there. And I have some people here who come in to comment. And listen, folks, if you're going to comment, do so. You're free to comment, to share your idea and what you do know. But please don't come here to insult people. Name calling, I don't allow that. And certainly YouTube doesn't allow that. So I'll block you if you do that, and we're not going to hear your comments anymore. I'd rather you do it, share your comment, let me know what you think, and I'll reply to you nicely, and we can talk as, civilized people. And, no issue with that. I ain't going to go around the bush. I'll come straight to you and tell you what I think, like I always do here. So what is happening in the US is basically going to facilitate, according to what I hear, bring peace in that region. So this region has seen trouble and death by the millions over the years. If we're counting today, over 10 million people have lost their lives in that part of the DRC. I'm here in Kinshasa doing this. Not far from me here, millions of people have died and are continuing to die. You can understand the impact of this on the people of the DRC. And for years, things have gone silent. Nobody said anything about it, as though it didn't bother anybody. And we have seen throughout this war and situation, those who were with us and those who were against us. We didn't get any help, none whatsoever. When we cried out, there was no one there to intervene for us. And so I understand that diplomatically speaking, we didn't really have any clout, not at all. During the years of Kabila in power, there was none of that. And so it has basically taken the few years that President Tshisekedi was in power to at least, bring out the issue of the DRC on the table, and then the concept of nation, so people can now talk about the DRC in the way they do talk about it now. But what I want to say today is this: Joseph Kabila is now officially a rebel. So the Minister of Justice has requested the Senate to remove his immunity so he can be pursued by the court. So I don't know exactly when this immunity will be lifted, but I know it is in the process. It's happening as we speak, but I'll update you on that. But why would he, the former president, find himself in this kind of situation? And this is very, very shocking. But this is really sad. The history of this country, the DRC, where we are today, where we got today, to have a former president who has held power, the reins, for the past 18 years, and he ruled with the iron fist, and he did what he did. Oh man, it breaks my heart. You go into Congo today to find out what kind of life, it's terrible. Not far from me here where I am, and Kingakati is not far. Go to Kingakati and find out what that man has in terms of possession. He's a multi-billionaire. Why can't you be satisfied? But I think I've got the answer. Based on what Kwebe Kimpele said yesterday, I understand that in spite of the billions that he has received, it doesn't matter to him. All he wants is basically to fulfill their dream that they've had for ages, if you like. To partition the DRC so a chunk of it can go to Rwanda. And that's basically what this whole thing has been about all along. And they're about the thinking that's, okay, so now we can actually advance our plan. Look, I wish to see what this thing in the US is all about. I want to see what this deal is, because the people of Goma, the people of Bukavu and the surrounding villages, the DRC, we're not supposed to be going through this. Enough is enough. Time has come for this country to take off, but we cannot take off unless things do change. And this is what I want you I'm asking you to do, I'm inviting you to do, is to participate with me in seeing this country liberated, in seeing this country set free from where we stand today. So I'm inviting you to like this video. If you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. Share this link with other people, as many people as you can, and give me your comment, give me your thumbs up. The more you give me your thumbs up, the more it is, or the better it is for us to get this message out there. It helps the algorithm so that this message can go up. Please, as many of you are watching this, give me your thumbs up. Let me know that you are engaging in this conversation and you are participating in this, and you are listening, and somehow you I wouldn't say necessarily, because you don't have to enjoy what I'm saying here. We're just basically putting out information there, but that you read, that you're engaging with us. Give me thumbs up. It's very, very important, and give me your comments as well. So, as I said, right now, if Kabila, if those immunity are lifted from him, from the day he sets his foot on the soil of the DRC, he will be arrested. Yes, I know some people say, oh, who's going to arrest him? You wait, you watch. But they haven't touched him because the man is actually... Let me share something with you. Do you know that before Kabila left power in the DRC, he basically... What's the word? He... he received such protection that you can never imagine. They brought about a new law to protect a former president. Even if he has killed millions of people, he's still protected. Even if he has stolen billions, he's still protected. Whatever he may have done, he is protected by this immunity. So he knew very well before he left power what he had done to this country. So therefore he protected himself. But you ask yourself, who is it, the people that actually voted for this law? It's the Congolese, it's the Parliament. So he corrupted them with money, and they went and voted for that law that is now in place, protecting him for what he has done. How corrupt people can be. Somebody who's killed people, millions of people have died, and you have decided to protect the man. I'm not saying here Kabila did kill those millions of people. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that he took part. He participated, being the president of the country for 18 years, whether directly or indirectly, he is implicated. And especially when you know his relationship with Paul Kagame and James Kabarebe, then you know what we're dealing with right here. This is not right. He's the president. He's supposed to protect Congolese people. He's supposed to be on the sides of the Congolese people. He's supposed to be really fighting in order for the Congolese people to have peace in that region, not joining himself with the M23, not joining himself with the AFC, not saying the kind of things that he said. He's telling the South African government not to support the Congolese government. Why? When we are in trouble, in peril, we're losing millions, thousands of people, and yet you're telling South Africans not to get involved. That is not a good thing. So I'm here to say that Joseph Kabila is now, not yet, but the courts have already engaged in this process of removing his immunity. And once that is done, obviously, he's going to be arrested. When I say he's going to be arrested, I know this guy's a military guy, you know. He knows his game quite well, and he knows what is done throughout the years when he was in power in terms of arming and winning the allegiance of these generals. I do know that. I get it. The man is protected himself. He's got all this general behind him, and that's the reason why Goma and Bukavu could just easily fall without even engaging into a fight. So he knows his game pretty well, but let's see what actually happens. So in a matter of hours, we will know what's actually unfolding in Washington. But yeah, just to let you know that there are now judiciary, if you like, judiciary measures against Joseph Kabila. And I know, in order to remove those immunity, you have to get the Senate, the lower and the upper house to come together and remove. So in order to get the upper, Congo, this is the issue. In order to get the upper and the lower chambers to come together, what can I say? Should I say you have to corrupt people to agree to do that? Because there will be those who will receive the corruption so that they don't actually remove those immunity. I know how these things work. So here in Kinshasa here, those who are here, those members of parliament, before you get them to do something, you have to tip them off. You have to give them something. You have to actually invest or at least bribe them in order to do that. So if Kabila, because he's a billionaire, I don't know if he will get his guys to bring money and give to the members of parliament so they don't do it. So we will see. We will know what will unfold. But this is the situation. So I'll bring you more updates on what is happening in Washington, in Doha, and we can basically wrap our minds or brains around it. But please do let me know what you think. If you have not watched the video that I put up yesterday about Kwebe Kimpele talking about the history of Congo, please do watch it. I was blown away when I listened to all that he had to say. Look, history at school told you a lie. Go watch that video and you will understand so many things as never before. We are about to enter into a new era where we Congolese, we are not going to fall asleep again. We have woken up and this is going to go for generations to come. So please, as I said again, like this video, give me a thumbs up and share it. And I'll see you at the next one. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye for now.